who is the bigger priest of corruption? It must be the one who brings money to parliament. Yes.
Yeah. In the most recent times, it seems that the current president has no intention to leave.
But as President Kibaki used to ask, wewe utasaidia na nini? I don't come from a rich family. When I started politics, I didn't have money. Similarly with Caleb Amisi and many more I know. But when you present yourself to the people and you have people's favor and God's favor, you will be in parliament, and I know you will not be bought to vote for bad law.
Welcome to Politikali Konekted, a podcast on everything politics and governance in Kenya and Africa. Here we unpack the complexities of people, policy, and power. I'm your host, Dan Maanzo,
aka Madam Speaker, and I am yours truly, Kidi Mwaga,
aka The Rock. So today we have a really important guest here with us, Senator Dan Maanzo, who is the Senator of Makueni County and also has been a 2-time sitting member of parliament. Yes, over to you, Kidi.
Senator Dan Kitonga Maanzo,
Yes.
as a young man, captured the imagination of many people in this country when he managed to outmaneuver the Kibaki system in 2007 and registered the ODM Kenya at a time when the prevailing political interest had wanted to deny ODM Kenya registration. Karibu Mheshimiwa.
Thank you.
Walk us through the journey of politics, and particularly as you continue to support young people under Interparties Youth Forum, under WIPA, the Patriotic Front, and the young people of Kenya.
Yeah.
Yes, let me say and encourage many young people that I created interest with the 2002 Kibaki elections. A lot of young people volunteered into that election, and I was one of them. And as a young lawyer who had just done the bar and joined the bar in 2000, my only hope was a new government which will accommodate young people and will accommodate change. And therefore, I started as a volunteer into politics. Went to Rainbow Coalition, and I volunteered as a lawyer. So when people will get arrested, I will run around the country and get them released. And then, because there will be a lot of arrests around, election time, people with trumped up charges, just as you have seen, that has not ceased. And therefore, I'll just be a volunteer lawyer without being paid by anyone. So when it came to the oranges and banana campaign on the new constitution.
That was in 2005.
This was, 2005. So I went into the orange side, which won. And therefore, there was every effort to prevent the orange team from forming a political party. And I remember, first of all, the people who supported Orange and were in government were ministers like Raila Odinga and Kalonzo Musyoka. They were sacked, from government. And there were serious threats, to them. And every effort was made to make sure that the orange is stolen. But remember, there was Ford and Ford Kenya.
Yes.
So now that we could no longer register ODM, it had already been secured. We came up with the ODM Kenya.
Yes.
And how I did it, I didn't go on the top of trees and talk about it. I just appeared before the registrar of political parties and processed the paperwork. I was assisted by Abraham Chepkonga and Lilian Alunga. Abraham was the Secretary General and Lilian Alunga was the Treasurer. And for formation of a political party, first needed the Chairman, Treasurer, and Secretary General. And therefore, that's how we formed this party. And it became very difficult when it got to the Attorney General's office, because the paperwork had been processed and I had paid for it. And the AG said, I'm sorry, I have a new boss. I have a minister for for justice, so I don't have the final word. And the Honorable Orengo and the late Mutula Kalonzo Sr. kept on pestering Musyoka, who was AG, and the popularly known as Smiley AG. And finally, out of the big pressure which was built, and we all surrounded the AG's office, many young people chanting that register the party. Finally, it was registered. I was given the certificate, which I handed over to Raila Odinga, who was our leader, and his deputy leader was Kalonzo Musyoka. There was a big political rally at Uhuru Park, but very soon my importance was forgotten. And other people were fielded as the chair, secretary general, like that, for the party.
Yes.
But finally, you know, when the Orange movement seemed to be cracking up, as a chairman, and together with the rest of the team, we allowed Kalonzo Musyoka to run for president in 2007.
Wonderful.
Wow.
Walk us through your experience in the cross-party, inter-party collaboration. And do you think there is still hope? Having worked with some of these leaders under the Orange movement in 2005, it was bringing young leaders from across the political divide around a common issue. Subsequently, we have seen how over and over again, your party leader, His Excellency Kalonzo Musyoka, has shelved his ambition to work with other leaders in pursuit of a better country.
Yeah.
Yes, I want to say that first and foremost, after 2007 election,
Yes.
there was a big problem in the country. There was a lot of people were being killed, and Kalonzo Musyoka teamed up with Mwai Kibaki,
Yes.
at least to stabilize the country.
Yes.
And later on, there were discussions of forming, you know, a coalition government.
Yes.
And also Raila Odinga came on board and became the prime minister. So there was President Kibaki, then Deputy Vice President Kalonzo Musyoka, and Prime Minister Raila Odinga. Come 2013, on political rearrangements, Kalonzo Musyoka shelved his presidential ambition and supported Raila Odinga in 2013. We did an election petition thereafter. And we, as a coalition that time, believed we had the CORD coalition, we had won the election. 2017 came, we formed NASA. Kalonzo Musyoka again supported Raila Odinga. We went into election, and there was an election petition again. I was one of the lawyers in that,
Yes, election petition.
working with Amolo Otiende and others. And again, now we won this election. We won this petition. But out of the way the system was crafted, Raila Odinga knew, even if we went for a rerun, nothing much may change. Therefore, he later on did a handshake with Uhuru Kenyatta. At that point, Kalonzo Musyoka supported them because we wanted to stabilize the country.
Yes.
So come 2022,
Yes.
he had now to sacrifice for the third and the last time.
Yes.
So we, from Wiper Patriotic Front, which was then Democratic Movement, overwhelmingly supported Raila Odinga. He was voted widely by our supporters. But unfortunately, again, we lost the election the third time.
Yes.
And of course, now after gathering evidence here and there, we did another election petition. Clearly, this petition was not granted on very flimsy grounds. We had all the evidence, but the court still rejected. You remember Julie being told, you know, nasty words from the courts. We had presented hotel, but it wasn't. We had polling stations. Where if it is 61, for Raila Odinga it will become 16.
Yes.
And we had situations whereby when the total vote is 71 and Raila Odinga has 70, the results will become that Raila Odinga has won,
And
the other side has 70, and the total is 71. We presented all that,
Evidence.
but it didn't work. And after demonstrations here and there, which were led by Raila Odinga and Kalonzo Musyoka, as you know, didn't work. And at some point, when the Gen Zs came out and said, no, our country cannot go on like this, no equal opportunity. Sometimes very tricky in this country. Before you know tenders, even when you advertise them, they know who they will give.
Yes.
Jobs, even when you advertise them, they have already identified who are they giving. So they are
person
making...
is even in office.
they are even allowing these other young people just waste their time filling in papers, processes, CVs, and you know very well you have already decided. So there was no fairness in the country. A bad law with bad taxes had come, and Kenyans crushed it. And it is after the overrunning of Parliament, the youth revolution began in this country. I believe it is still there, and it is very strong. And I believe the young people of Kenya can change the future politics of Kenya.
Yes. It's interesting to see that the same political intricacies that were happening back then are still the plays that the current regime are playing. But I want to take you back a bit to when you started volunteering into the Kibaki campaign. A lot of young people want to join political processes, but they really are just like, where do I start? So would like to hear from you, Senator. What led you to volunteer your expertise to the Kibaki campaign back in the 2000s?
First of all, we were frustrated as young people in the previous regime just before Kibaki. I remember Kibaki had tried many times to become president, and it had not worked. And again, also, what followed is that after that frustrations, we had hope that President Kibaki is going to form a fair government and will have a fair opportunity. Without corruption, where people are by their work, their way to work. And where recruitments of police, and all that was curtailed. And even if you had a fair chance of joining the police or the forces, you could not. So there was hope. And let me tell young people today, in the year 2000, everybody believed freedom was coming tomorrow, and it didn't come. So we had been volunteers before in the
97.
That time there was a serious activism.
Yeah.
So we were part of the activism to make people aware of their rights. And I remember I'll work under released political prisoners, because there would be a lot of political prisoners then. There's also a volunteer lawyer. And therefore it was a spirit of forming a new government that made a lot of us volunteer, including myself. And I want to tell the young people today, if you want to begin joining in politics, first of all, be part of the movement. Be part of the movement of change, as many of you have done as Gen Zs. Then register, as a Kenyan. Have an ID card. Then have a voting card. And also participate in the political process.
Parties.
Go and join political parties and make them vibrant. Support a political party, or become an independent candidate and have the 2,000 signatures you need and go for change. And I believe you'll find many more people with this similar. Don't be told you have no money.
That's an agenda.
You can fundraise, you can fundraise online, you can fundraise through WhatsApp groups, you can fundraise through people of goodwill, you can be assisted by fellow young people. If a young person can vie and become a student leader in a university, there is no seat you cannot get in this country. You can even become president. So no one should cow you as a young person. And I also want to tell young people that in 1997 I participated as a polling clerk. And ECK then gave us young people opportunity. Even today, IBC will give young people opportunity to work with them. The ones in university, the ones who are looking for jobs. IBC hires a lot of young people. You have the presiding officer and deputy presiding officer. Then you have clerk number 1 to clerk number 6. They are all young people, but you must have an ID. And you must also be a voter to be hired by IBC. And then you will have now an opportunity to stop the vote from being stolen. Because if you are working, 6 of you, as Gen Zs, as the poly clerks, then no one will steal the election. Because you will leak that information. You will say, no, there is malpractice here. And I believe if you do that, we'll make sure that the next election is not stolen and we can bring change to our country.
Yeah, Senator, I like what you're saying and just empowering the youth, because, I mean, in the most recent times, it seems that the current president has no intention to leave the house that has been... that is currently staying on a temporary basis. I mean, in every election cycle, they are there for the 5 years, and if the people want the president again, he's elected. Now, a lot of things that are happening since the Gen Z protest, the Gen Zs came and said that they are leaderless, they are tribeless, and they are partyless. And now, most importantly, in our national discourse, we are seeing a lot of tribal rhetoric. It is like there's an agenda from the government side to kind of create different tribes or cocoons, and maybe help our audience, our young audience, really just unpack how this is about this divisive agenda of tribalism.
Let me say that tribalism has been there in Kenya, and actually politics in Kenya have been mobilized along tribal lines.
Yeah.
But I want to tell the Gen Zs that after mobilizing along tribal lines, 14 million Kenyans voted. 8 million did not vote.
Yeah,
meaning the 8 million, if they had voted, they would have formed the government. And that's where a lot of young people are. So I want to encourage young people and say that as President Kibaki used to ask, wewe utasaidia na nini? The only day young people, every Kenyan participates in building their country is the day of voting.
Yes.
But before that day comes, you must prepare. You must have a voter's card, and you vote with your ID. If you have no ID, you can't register as a voter, and therefore you will not be voting. Now, even if you say must go, or one term, and you do not have an ID, you do not have you have not registered as a voter, you do not go to vote, all that energy is wasted. All those protests you did and people were killed are a waste. So we need the young people who are very many. Actually, we can register another 10,000 young people as voters. And you have to be vigilant. You have to have an ID early. You have to wake up, and you have to go and register when this period for registration will be declared. And in fact, now, it should be ongoing at the headquarters of every constituency. There's an IB office. You can be registered as a voter now. So please don't sleep on your rights. And again, also, if you have ambitions to either become MCA or MP or senator or governor or president, you must be registered as a voter. If you are, and you must have an ID. So if you have not registered as a voter, you have no opportunity to vie. So the paperwork which is processed at IBC will not favor you. They will tell you, sorry, you are not registered voter, so you cannot contest. So please, register as a voter, and I want to encourage as many young people who feel they have the talent and who feel can create change in this country to raise up, go and compete for those seats. Don't fear. I don't come from a rich family. When I started politics, I didn't have money. Similarly with Caleb Amisi and many more I know. But when you present yourself to the people and you have people's favor and God's favor, you will be in parliament, and I know you will not be bought to vote for bad law.
By the way, Senator, the president recently said that Parliament, the House of Parliament, seems to be the high priest of corruption. What is your take on that?
But I want to ask, who corrupts Parliament? Who is the bigger priest of corruption? It must be the one who brings money to Parliament. Yes. If nobody brings money to the House, the people will vote fairly. But sometimes they come, they are forced, they are abducted in their minds, and you are forced. You saw simply because Oroba went to receive Matiang'i. That's the reason she's out of Parliament as a nominated member. So even many nominated members are threatened. If you don't vote with us, then you are removed as a nominated member of Parliament. So I want to encourage young people that you can get to the House, you can become a governor, you can get to the county assemblies and bring change to the nation.
One last question before we let you go, Senator, and thank you for spending the whole day with young people. In the ensuing difficult period after the Gen Z protest, We have seen your party leader being a consistent, dependable friend of the youth. We have seen him appear in court to defend the young people who have been charged with the Prevention of Terrorism Act. We have seen him condole with young people. We have seen him continue to remain a voice of change. Do you think His Excellency Kalonzo Musyoka can be the Kenya's or the Gen Z Winston Churchill, that finally he can take the charge and help liberate the country in 2027?
Let me say that the united opposition is discussing that, because finally we need to field one presidential candidate against William Samoei Ruto. Just one candidate, not two. And that's being worked on. Currently, we are helping out with the by-elections. We are working on that. But let me say that the journey began earlier. You remember even when the young Jerry was charged because she did public participation, sent ideas to Parliament on an important law. She was charged with the misuse of ICT and a charge which could not be sustained. I want to, the Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka is a senior counsel, so he led many of us, including Dengwa Jiro, and we have been doing this on a voluntary basis, because we realized that people are being arrested right, left, and center. People are being killed, and that's why we've set up a restorative commission, whereby its work is to collect evidence so that it can be presented before a constitutional court for compensation of these people, and also present evidence to the DPP or do private prosecution to those who killed our young people. You have seen the president try to bring a parallel commission, which now the courts said that it hangs on illegality, and it has been temporarily suspended till the matter is heard. We are going to be in that case. We want justice in the country, but most important, young people, if you really want this change, get registered as a Kenyan.
Thank you.
Get registered as a voter, and then participate, vie for a seat, join a political party, be active in the political party. And I can assure you, even if you are not going to be elected, some of you will be nominated, and they will vote wisely when they get to the house. But the change begins now, and I believe the future of this country lies on the young people, the Gen Zs, who were one time called criminals by the president.
Treasonous criminals.
Who stormed into Parliament. Parliament and the State House belong to the people. The power belongs to the people. They are more powerful. The people can defeat the armies. The people can defeat the police, because the army and the police belong to the people, and they are the people. So we want a fair nation. We want free and fair elections in the country, and we also want to say that you cannot say you will not leave the seat. The seat belongs to the people. So if they vote you out, you humbly and become a good citizen and continue participating in the affairs of building the nation.
Yes. Thank you very much, Senator. And we've heard it from you. Like, you're telling us that the power really is with us. And for us to exercise that power, we need an ID and we need a voter's card. And not only those two, but to also participate in the political processes in our country. Voluntarism, as what you're still doing now, even as a senator, you're still volunteering yourself to help more young people. So asante sana for joining us.
Tell young people, every time you volunteer and build your nation, you'll never be disappointed. Somebody will see your efforts and you'll be rewarded, including the people of Kenya. They will see your efforts and they will elect you, and you'll be able to take care of the country.
Thank you.
Asante sana, Senator.